Welcome to Intentionally FinTech, the podcast where we dive deep behind the purpose of FinTech brands. I'm your host for today, Michael Phillips, the CEO and founder of a branding agency called Behold. After 7 years of working in the creative industry and after an unfortunate wake up call in late January, I've made it my mission to help founders do what inspires them most. On this show, we're going to be talking to FinTech founders about their purpose, about the values that drive their day to day work, and just how exactly clarity of purpose inspires trust in an otherwise cluttered environment. So let us dive in. My guest for today is Omar Douiri. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would normally do an introduction, but I think it's only fair that we let him to do that. So Omar, you have the mic.
Hello, Michael. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited today to talk about Zyplow. I'm Omar, Moroccan born here in Paris now. I'm the founder of Zyplow. Our mission at Zyplow is really to leverage AI to fight insurance fraud and streamline claim management. So I'm very excited to speak with you, Michael, today. Thank you.
Excited to have you here, Omar. It's not often that we have someone from InsurTech, if I may call that niche of yours. Is it
Yeah.
correct? Yes,
Yeah.
I think I classified you right. We don't have, you're actually the first InsurTech guy we have on Intentionally FinTech. So I'm very excited to see where this conversation goes. So we already discussed about what you're building, but can you go a little bit more in detail for our audience to understand, get a better idea of what are you doing instead of just give us like a little bit more in depth of a description.
Yeah, sure. So without going into too much technical things, what we do at Ziplo is like three main things. First, we're going to score each claim that is entered depending on the fraud score using AI and using rules to help insurers detect what case needs to be investigated further. Also, we're gonna verify pictures that are associated with the claim. So we're gonna verify if they are legit, if they are not ChatGPT generated, which is very reliable nowadays, and also the date, the location, etc. And then third thing, and it's where there is the heart of our product. We are matching the damage seen in the pictures with the claim and seeing if there is an inconsistency or if it's consistent.
I
Uh,
understand. That's actually very good. So you're basically just acting as this, you're making sure that people are basically who they say they are, if I understood that correctly. And you're making sure that everything is to the point and done perfectly so that people don't have a problem with the idea of trust.
Exactly. The idea is twofold. Like it's on one hand help the insurer to detect more fraud cases, and on the other hand help legitimate clients to be to speed up their claim management process.
That is a very good mission. But this is intentionally fintech. So we talk a lot about intention and about purpose here. So let me zoom in on you, Omar, on you, the founder. What made you want to build this? What was the moment when you said, okay, this is what I want to build?
Yeah. So I'm not going to do the typical startup thing to say there was like one moment. It's not really the case. I will be like more honest. I think like that the creation of Ziplo, it's at the intersection of three main things. Like first, I'm really someone that I have like a healthy addiction with like progress. I really like technology and I really like to tackle big problems. And I think that human can build some things that help us all be more productive. So I'm a tech guy because of that. So that's like the first pillar of Ziplo. The second thing I guess that is more personal. It's like that I come from an insurance family. So every summer during my teenage years, I spent it in a small brokerage firm in Casablanca in Morocco. And I was always impressed about like the quantity of paper, the quantity of things that could be improved using technology. So when I wanted to innovate and when I wanted to start the company, doing an insurtech was like something very little for me. Then I had to find a problem. That's the third thing that created Ziplo. So when I wanted to create Ziplo, I identified three main problematics that insurers face and that could be helped and improved using technology. Fraud was like the biggest thing that stood up discussing with insurers, but also because of a personal want to improve things for legitimate clients. And that's why we focused on fraud detection.
I understand. So it actually started from the tradition of your family. So it's in your blood insurance. And then you took it one step further. You added yourself to that. I really like this. This is something we've seen also here on Intentionally FinTech. It all usually starts from something personal, but also from my own experience with working within FinTech and also without other founders. So that's a very nice story that you have there. Let's scratch the surface even more, shall we? So in traditional entrepreneurship textbooks, we have this thing you need to find a gap in the market. But my story, my personal one, wasn't made from a gap in the market. It was from a mission that I felt deeply in my bones. So let me ask you this. Would you say that Ziplow was founded from a mission that you had? Or was it just like, okay, I found this gap in the market, I'll address it?
I think it's the two. It's both because there are like a deep mission coming from inside me to want to help first my country and also my continent and then the world using technology to tackle a big problem that is costing for everyone, like insurance fraud. So that's the part that is personal and really my mission. I really want to build something meaningful, and that's the way I've been since I'm young. So that's the first thing. But I'm also convinced that you can't just apply your vision into a market. You really need to learn about your clients and what is obsessing them every day. What do they want to solve? And then you can bring your brick, so your need, your mission into a real and live problem that people are facing.
Right. Okay. I will give you a little secret. This is nothing that you'll hear from a standard branding guy or a standard creative. It's enrooted in psychology and how people think. So this is actually a repeating topic on Intentionally FinTech, and I think my audience is already knows what I'm about to say. But I'm sorry, guys, I will have to say it again. Are you familiar with the golden circle?
Tell me more.
Okay, so I have nothing to draw this on. I should probably just buy a whiteboard and put it there and start drawing because that's the amount of times I had to explain this. So imagine you have three concentric circles. So one, two, and three. This was a smaller one in the middle, the second one in between, and the third one outside. Right? In the center we have why. It's your purpose. On the outside, in the second section, we have how. How am I different? And outside, we do what? So let us do an exercise, which I do with my clients at Host. Let's do it here on the podcast, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
My goal today with you is to help you find your purpose and build this golden circle. But why is it important, you may ask, right? Well, what is this guy with circles? He's a little crazy, right? No. I mean, yeah, okay, I
No,
am a little crazy, but not
but
regarding
not
this.
for that.
Not for this. So, thing is, people buy not what you do, but why you do it. And the best example is this right here, the Apple MacBook I'm speaking from, and the AirPods I have. These basically, by the way, this is not sponsored. We what we have is we believe in the mission behind Apple, so that's why people buy Apple products. So let us dig a little bit into your why, shall we? Let's see if we can extract that together today.
Yeah, sure.
So, how does your original why actually show up? How does it show in the product, the team, even the way you talk about the brand?
Yeah,
So, what is your why and how does it show into what you do, for an
yeah.
example? So, if we were to talk about the purpose, we were to talk about why, but not why are you in this business? Why have you started this one and beyond money, beyond physical stuff? Why is the reason you did this? Let's start like that.
So I think the main reason, as I said earlier, I really, really like to tackle big problems. And there is like a big problem in the insurance. Okay, let me rephrase. Okay. Do you know about the Pareto principle? Yeah.
I've heard about it, yes, but
Okay.
maybe our
So
audience is not familiar with it. So can we
yeah,
expand
yeah,
on that?
yeah, I can explain it a little bit more. Basically, the idea is that on a lot of things, 20% of causes cause like 80% of effects. So that's the main and the basic idea. For example, if I work for an exam, I can work 20% of the material will give me like 80% of the results, which means like getting a good grade. In insurance, why do I tell you this analogy? Because in insurance, it's the same thing. There are like 20% of cases of claims that are maybe fraudulent or maybe difficult to tackle. That causes like 80% of insurers' time managing those claims. So That's a really big problematic because 80% of claims are only managed during 20% of the time spent by insurers. And I really want, and my mission and what do we want to do with Ziplow is to inverse this ratio. We want to help insurers alleviate the 20% they spend the most time in it, to have all the time spending in real value creative operations, and to really help clients that have like legitimate cases.
Okay. So I will ask you a couple more questions and then I will rephrase what you said into a proper wise statement. Does that sound
Let's do
fair?
it. Yeah.
Okay. So has this mission changed over time for you? Has this purpose changed over time for you? Or did it become more meaningful as you started building? So for an example, did you start with this like this? Okay, this is what I want to do. Or was it, okay, we'll do this, but oh wait, this is also a problem. Okay, this is also this. So then you added until you chiseled it and you got the final form.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all about like iterative process. So I was more in the second case. We started with a general idea about what we want to do, but it's really like discussing every day with insurers, adjusters, federations, people like you and our other founders, and like people that really live the problem. That we understood how can we align our what with our why. So how can we align our mission with what we are building?
That is a very good thing. And this is what I tell all founders on a digitally fintech to do. Not a lot of them do this, and you'd be surprised actually. Okay, so I think I got what I need. Here's how I would put your why. If I were to describe you in one word, I would say you're efficient. Why do I say efficient? Because your why has nothing to do with insurance, actually. Really, it does
Yeah,
not.
it's true.
Your
It's true.
why is you believe. And when I say believe, you believe. You wake up in the morning and you say, this is what I want to do. You believe that time is a precious resource and it shouldn't be wasted on stuff which can be easily fixed. And you do this how? Through your unique background in insurance, through your family. And finally, what do? You have drawn this background and created this solution which helps inverse the Pareto principle, such that less time is spent on those fraudulent claims so that the time of insurance brokers and insurance companies is freed up to do something meaningful. Did I get that right?
Yeah. It's evident that you are like more the creative guy because you put it in in very beautiful words.
Of course. Okay, so well, what we're gonna do is I always do this with intentionally fintech guests. So you'll get a golden circle. You can put it in your office, say, I've been at Michael, and it's gonna be printed and it's gonna have this information. This is like an alumni gift. So that's
That's great.
guaranteed you're gonna get it
Thank
after
you.
we're done. Okay, we already got your golden circle. So let's move to the next topic of our discussion, which is regulation and purpose. How are they connected? You know, fintech is famous for the regulation, the
Yeah.
red tape. SD3 is coming up right now. By the way, 2 words. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, like my opinion is that it could be a blessing in disguise. Because like if there is a regulation, that means that regulators are understanding that there is a problem and that they need to address it.
Right, right,
Yeah,
exactly. So you're not the only one who is a little bit concerned with that. We had someone else come here and they said, "Yeah, it's we're a little bit it's a little bit tight, mainly because you have to sacrifice sometimes your vision for that." So I want to ask you, how do you stay true to your vision when there's so much regulation involved?
yeah. So we do two things. First, in Africa, where we started, we directly work with regulators in Morocco, but also in Africa, to discuss, to evaluate how can we fit our mission and our product and adapt it to the specificities of each market, of each regulation. So that's the first thing. I think that regulators sometimes they need the push from like startups to understand how they can help and what can they do. So that's the first point. And the second point, I think, is just to have like privacy and regulation in mind at the conception phase of your product. We have the chance at Ziplow to have our chief technical officer that already did like ISO 27001 in his past company. He has like extensive experience in all those kind of problematics. But we really understood from the beginning that if we want to scale and to have a real product, we have to keep in mind all those rules and regulation into the conception at the heart of the product.
Right. So would you say it's a back and forth negotiation that you negotiate with the regulators? What can I keep from my mission or what can I
I think it's
discard?
I don't think it's a discussion. I think it's more like some concessions, like regulators, they have to make a step in the way of startups, but it's the same for startups. You can't just be blind and say, I want to do this, and that's it.
I agree and disagree with you. I agree that we are startups, and especially fintech as you are, or insurtech actually, it's a sub branch of fintech. You need to follow these regulations, but you should not do make concessions on your vision. And this is where strategic partners can help you find the exact way you should go. And this is frankly what I do a lot in my work with Behost. With my agency, we work with fintechs to get them where they should be or where they want to be, not where they should be. So we try to take regulations, we take their mission, we try to make something which feels like them, but doesn't get them in jail or make them lose their license. Because I don't know about you, Omar, but I wouldn't like to lose my license. But
Yeah.
if you're into that, of course, we can arrange something.
Yeah, yeah. Let me maybe not push back, but let me give you like an example of what was I meaning.
Please.
I don't really talk about the purpose, but more like about the practical application of your purpose. Let me give you like a practical example that I lived in Zyplow just soon. So for example, for a client, I can't divulge the name because it's still under NGA, etc. But for a client, like they wanted us to deploy an AI model. Like we had two kinds of AI model. One that is like this size, like just to give you an example, and the other that was like this size, so much bigger. Yeah, the much bigger one was more efficient as you expected. But
Yeah,
what was the
obviously.
problematic? The problematic was that the big model couldn't be deployed locally in cloud servers because the computing power was just not present in the country. So we had to opt for like the smaller model, which is less efficient. By doing that, we respected the fact that our model was deployed on a local cloud as the client and as the regulation wanted. So that's what I was thinking. It's not like giving on your mission, but more like on this, on how do you apply it on like the small details.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, now that makes more sense because thank you for clearing that up actually because I got confused and probably also our audience. But thank you for that. Yeah, it makes sense now what you're talking about. So we went through regulation right now. Let's say we close that chapter for today. Let's move into something more relevant, I think, to our audience and also to you. Let's talk about investors. I see you smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big subject.
Cha-ching. Okay, let's talk about their instincts for a bit. Do you think that investors can tell when a fintech really stands for something and not just like ticking boxes? For example, numbers, check. Futures, check. I don't know. Product, check. Do you think there is a checklist which they follow? Or do you, and if you follow these things, do you think they will, okay, take my money? Or do you think there's also this component of purpose and of meaning behind that, that they look for this?
Yeah, yeah. From my point of view, like it's really difficult to talk about investors because investors in general, there are people, so there are kinds of investors. What is sure for me is that the purpose is a really important thing in like fundraising, especially when at early stage. Because from my point of view, at early stage, investors are mainly looking about is there a real problem? Is there a good way to solve it? Are you the good person to solve this problem? And why do you do this? And the why is really important at this stage. As like people, there are some kinds that are more analytical and they really want to see traction, numbers, data rooms, etc. And some people's, and maybe they are the best investors out there, I think, because they are the ones that are seeing vision, are more focused on the why and how do you do it and who are you?
You know, can I share a story with you real quick from my chats with my friends who work in VC and who give money to people like founders? So we have this story. A friend of mine, investor, he likes to give money out to companies who are, I don't want to say innovative, but who bring something to the table, right? We had this, oh, he had actually. He had this guy, a fintech guy. I probably said this story again on this podcast, but for the sake of repeating myself and giving you some insight, I will say it again. He was making this payment thing where you could use your card, like have a normal bank card, but pay with crypto in the normal shops. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
So this guy came to my friend for money, raise money, and he had a good pitch. He had a very good presentation, good numbers, even good performers. So he had a good projection 5 years and even a business plan, which was looking okay. But my friend rejected to give him money. Now, my friend saw that. He said, okay, it looks good, but he refused it. Why he refused it? do you think?
Yeah, I think the response is like really clear because of the why, because of the purpose. Yeah,
He could literally sense that this guy did not believe a word he said.
and that could be felt. Yeah.
You can feel that.
Mhm.
And there's another story of Simon Squibb. Probably you know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Squibb. He had a story where he had to invest in, like, it's unrelated to fintech. A guy wanted to open up a restaurant. He even got a Michelin star with it. Simon gave him money. He opened the restaurant, but the chef was never there. Do you know what he was doing?
No.
You're going to fall off your chair if I tell you. He was going out there to take photos of birds. So this guy didn't even want to be a chef. He wanted to be a bird watcher, an ornithologist.
Yeah.
And then, why would you give money to that guy? Give him money to open a bird business, not a restaurant. So purpose, like you said, it's very important. Now, even if you have purpose and you know how to what that purpose is, communicating it clearly is a very important component to
Mm,
raising money.
mm.
Okay, so we move on. So we have scarcity and trade-offs. Let's wind back to your early stages of the business. Very, very early stages. Maybe first month of the business. First 2 weeks of the business. I already can imagine the resources were like very tight, very narrow. And you had days where you said, okay, this is probably not working. How did your purpose fuel you? How did it keep you go forward? Was it maybe like a tough call that you had to make because it aligned better with your why, or was the obvious answer better? Well, how did that happen?
I understand sometimes I hear some stories from people that are talking about like the hardships or the anxiety that you can live when you are starting a company. But I'm gonna tell you like my personal thing. I think it's my personality, but I'm someone that is obsessed. Like I'm really obsessive about things. So since I started my company, that's the first thing I think about in the morning. The first thing I think about, the last thing I think about in the day before sleeping. So whenever there was like doubt, the doubt was never strong enough to like make me doubt on what I want to do. Because like as you said, the why or the want and the need to build something is very, very strong, and it's like kind of, I don't say a sickness, but kind of an obsessive thing that like yeah. Yeah, you will know, you will know what I'm talking about, but you know, it's like a sickness. It's something that is inside you, and like you can't explain it to someone else. So where when
Right.
people, when my friends are telling me like it's Saturday, why are you working? Why are you waking up early? Like for me, it's like something natural, and I can't even think about not doing that.
Right. You said something very, very, very key. Well, two things. One of them, it's like a sickness, it's obsessive. This is what happens when you have a true mission that you believe in. We have what we call at Behost a just cause, something that not only you believe in, but you can get others to believe in also. This is what the leader does, by the way. But you said something else. I can't put it in words. That's what you said. So I would like to unpack this for our audience. If this is maybe, I say this on every episode because our podcast is episodic, so there's no series that you should watch it in. So we should make them self-contained. So I'll say this again. You probably know this, but this is actually in psychology. So this is again something that not a normal creative will tell you. We have two brains. Yeah, let's say we have two brains. We have the old brain and the new brain. Let's call them that, shall we? The old brain is the one which evolved first. It's the one connected to instinct, emotion, stuff which also animals feel on some level, right? But then we have the new brain. This is the evolved one, the logical one, the rational one. And this is where the language centrum is located in because it's an advanced function. So when we believe in something, we feel it. This is the old brain acting. But the old brain doesn't know how to speak. So then we resort to the new brain, which is very logical. So instead of saying why we do stuff, we rationalize it. Why did I buy this laptop? Because it has a nice design. No, because it's very sleek, it's very light. Oh, I like the color. These are rationalizations of my why. The real reason I bought this is because I like to think differently.
Yeah, that's
But
very fragile what you are saying.
and you have this old brain who doesn't know how to speak. So what we do with purpose working and purpose exercises is we teach founders, or we teach you as a founder, how to properly identify this, incorporate it, and teach the new brain how to speak it in a way that makes sense. But speak it in a way that doesn't seem rational, but that inspires feelings for this old brain. And this is what we call customer loyalty. Because well, we have two ways we can get customers or investors even. And both of them are correct. No one's saying one is right, one is wrong. There's just two options which work. Manipulation, which you probably by its name, you can think what it means. 50% off. Buy one, get one free. 2 hours left for the 70% off deal. Summer sale. These are manipulations. They tap on my instinct. And let me see if you can understand where this can lead. At most, I get a customer to buy again and again and again. But the second something, a bit better deal comes or a newer technology comes, I lost this customer because he's not inspired. On the other hand, I can talk about inspiration, which happens with purpose because people buy not what you do, but why you do it, like we said in the beginning. So if we get this customer inspired, we have a loyal customer. If Apple goes bankrupt, I myself, I feel inspired by them, so I'll still buy from them. If Apple gets involved into, I don't know, messes up a batch of laptops, big scandal, I'll still buy from them because I still believe their why and I'll always see them favorably. Oh no.
Yes,
So what happened if you listen to this? This always happens for some reason in this studio. There's a power outage, but we still have the podcast going, so that's good. If you listen to this, yeah, we have no light in studio. But yeah, where were we? Talking about inspiring customers. That's what we should do. And this also applies to investors. Investors who will stick with you even if the numbers don't look good because they believe in what you do. So this is kind of the power of the why itself. So after we've had this short discussion about why, this is my favorite question, by the way, out of the whole deck. Are you ready for it?
yeah, go ahead.
Imagine that this AirPod that I have right here is not an AirPods case, but a magic one, which if I wave like this, whatever you want to change regarding your business, it would change instantly. What would you change?
It's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
What
It's my
would I
favorite.
change? I don't think I have a lot to change. I have some things like to make to add, but I don't think I have something to change. I have like the thing I am the most proud of Zyplow is the team. I'm really, really proud of the team, so I will not change it. Maybe add some other talents and some other ambitious guys and girls that could join us. And by the way, if you're really ambitious and you want to join a good company, you could send me a GM and I will evaluate. But I don't think I will change anything. Maybe what would I improve, or maybe what would I want to do more in the future is what I already do, which is talking a lot with everyone, with customers around the world to understand the problematics, but also to make our product known more.
That's a
And ma-
wonderful mission
yeah,
of
and
change.
maybe the website because I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. So let's just say the website and to get the company out there, Ziplo. Is
Yeah,
that a fair thing? Okay, I'll
yeah.
do this, but I can't make any promises. So I'm sorry, this is just an AirPods case. But let's just I wish you all the best in that. Let's just say like that. And if this podcast helps you somehow, maybe some random investor gives you some money after watching it, I don't think you'd mind.
Yeah, but I don't mind.
Of course. Let's move to trust in customers, shall we? Getting customers to trust a fintech product, it's actually no small feat. It's very difficult. I myself know because I'll be honest, everyone looks the same and talks the same. So I don't know. Do you think your why, your purpose helps lower that barrier?
Yeah, I really think so. Because as you said, it's the same with investors when you are doing, for example, for us, it's B2B deals that are really long and really difficult to sign. You're meeting with someone and you're a person with a person. And people can feel that. When you're talking with someone, you know if they're ambitious, you know if they really believe what they say, you know if they want to work or they're just wanting to sell or manipulate, as the example you said. And when you are talking with insurers or federations, where there is like 5, 6, 7, or even 10 meetings before having the chance to test your product, like it's a person-to-person case, and you need really to show your personality and what you can bring.
Definitely. I agree with you there. From your own personal experience, have you noticed that people literally buy more into your why than what you're doing? Like what I was saying, did you notice this at all?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, and I will also add, I think people, particularly in B2B, they buy into the trust they put into you and your why, which is the same but slightly different. It's really a trust thing. I think it's really essential. People need to trust that you believe in your mission. They need to trust that you are really working into a good product, and they need to trust that you are reliable and trustworthy.
Right. Definitely. 100%. And I see we see eye to eye in that sense. And I
Yeah.
really am happy to see this and to have someone here who also sees stuff in this way. We also had people in the past, but it's good to see it actually happening in practice also. Because you would be you'd be surprised at to see how how stuff can be different in practice. Okay, let's go down the visionary lane, shall we? Let's say years from now, people are talking about you, Omar Douiri, in the industry. What do you hope they say? What do you want to be remembered for? And I'm not talking about slogans like "We revolutionized insurtech." I'm talking about something which is more inner, something which what we call at the host, something that reveals what matters.
Yeah, I think I'll be a little bit boring because I already said that. But like the main thing for me is to be a trustworthy person. I really want to bring this image because I think that you know what Warren Buffett says about reputation. He says
Tell me.
something is that reputation takes 20 years to be built, but only 20 minutes to be destroyed.
Exactly.
I really believe in that. So
Even less than 20 minutes.
yeah, even less.
Even
Yeah,
less.
yeah, even
If I
less.
go on a website and it doesn't look right, I'm not going back on there, even if they rebrand.
Yeah, it's true. And also, yeah, so trust is the main thing, but I also really want, if I'm talking about me and not only Ziplo, I really want to be recognized because of like the ambition and determination. As I've said, I'm a really obsessed person, and I really want to let my trace into the world. So that's what I want to portray to the world, that being bold and being ambitious can lead to real good things and real improvements.
Definitely. Ambition, purpose, and action combined together create an unstoppable trio, especially for a starting entrepreneur. Okay, Omar. So you are in the trenches of fintech, I may say. You are part of the industry, you walk in it. Actually, you're in insurtech, but still fintech. Would you say, I want to ask you a question, your opinion on the situation. So would you say if more fintechs actually acted with purpose, not just ambition, of being revolutionary in fintech, number one in fintech, because you've probably seen this on LinkedIn as often as I did. Everyone's revolutionizing fintech, everyone's number one, the leading platform. If less people did that and actually stuck with their purpose, what would you think would change?
I think that lot of things will change because when you're a startup, you have first to focus on what can you do at your local level. I see a lot of fintechs that are doing what the neighbor is doing because it seems good, it seems to be ambitious. Everyone wants to be the next Revolut, but there's only one Revolut, and that's for a reason. And
That's
you
something I posted about today on LinkedIn, by the way.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. But there is only one Revolut. And why is it Revolut? Because the founder is obsessed and it was his purpose since he began. So I think my advice will be to other founders, find something you want to do and you really connect with it. Find also that it's a problem for market because I don't neglect this part also. But after that, just go with who you are and try like to go step by step. First, try to influence your city, then your country, then your continent, then maybe the world. But starting by saying, I'm the leading new platform, etc. Maybe it's this connection between who you are and what you want to do. And that's not good for a company.
I agree with you 100%. We all should strive to be unique and to find what makes us unique. And most often, it's this purpose which makes us unique. And if we know how to use our purpose to tell our story, we already won. It's just a matter of time until we cross the finish line. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, it's time for the final curveball of the episode. Are you ready? So this is intentionally fintech. We talk about purpose, but we want to see if founders actually apply it very well in practice also. So are you familiar about the celery test?
Tell me more about it.
Okay, so the name comes from a very simple practice. If, for an example, I were a salesman and I would be interested in getting you healthy, I would be selling you chocolate. I would be selling you celeries, like the legume. I would sell you maybe some salad, a coupon to go to the gym, but I would not be selling you fast food or anything like that. Correct?
Or you will not be a good doctor.
I would not be a good doctor. So, at the end, my actions need to reflect my purpose. So the salary test is just the name metaphor of us taking a look at your brand and seeing if what we established that your purpose is reflected in your brand and if people understand that. Are you ready to do this on the episode live with us?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Perfect. Can you see my screen, Omar?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then it means that the people at home can also see it. So let's remind the purpose of the audience. It's to you believe that time is a very efficient, is the most efficient resource we have, and you want to free it up for the brokers so that they can do stuff which is really important. To put it in one sentence.
Mhm.
Let's see if this is reflected here. So AI for insurance, reduce fraud, increase your productivity, accelerate fraud detection, identify with precision, and secure your processes with high performance intuitive SaaS solutions. Okay. Our missions. Okay. I will look at it first and I'll give you my verdict. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. I like very much what you did here. Why? How? What? That's a good funnel. Okay. Okay. Are you ready for my verdict?
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Actually, no, let's keep it. So, one thing I see is the colors everybody uses. So there's no point, there's no differentiation here. The blue, the name's okay. It's unique. I haven't encountered something similar in FinTech. Your mission here, I would put it in a different wording, but I do like the order you put it in here because this talks a lot about insurance. I would make the focus on time because everybody likes time, especially FinTech founders and especially people who have insurance businesses. They like time, they like their time. So I would actually stress that pain point and make it visible because you already lost me at becoming the trusted partner. I actually had to force myself to read through it. So you need to get this hook and to get their attention onto their pain point. So that's one thing. Your unique process, this is a good thing. Learn about unique fraud detection. You put me in an email. I would actually have some bullet points here because no one's going to bother to do this and download the PDF.
Okay.
That's just user experience. Sorry, I'm just giving you a full. We're not here for
No,
user experience.
it's good. Yeah, I like it. Like I yeah,
I also did this with Stefan last time.
I like the advice. It's well
Yeah,
taken. So
okay.
just go ahead.
So we have this. This is good, but it doesn't get it looks very basic. It doesn't scream you. It looks like I got this from WordPress and I made it. And I just put in my text. Our vision, the vision, I would restate a little bit and to make it more aligned with your why, first and foremost. And I'd actually put it higher. I don't want to scroll so much to see your vision because your vision is connected to your why. Your why statement is a mix between mission and vision. It needs to be inspiring. Yours is very what focused, and that doesn't really match. Okay, features, this is a very good thing. I would make something different here. And client-centric services is a very important thing, but my attention goes to this A, not to this. So there's something about user
Yeah, okay.
experience. This is a fact. I would do something different here.
Okay.
And request a demo. Okay, this is fine, but I would want to you would want to get my attention here. So if I were to let me stop sharing. How do I do this? Like this. Stop sharing, and we go back
it's okay.
to here. Okay, good. So are you ready for my grade? Okay. In all honesty, I would give you a 4.5. So unfortunately, you did not pass the salary test today. For me, a passing grade is 7, actually, not 5. Because if you got at 7, it means you're communicating your why properly, and the people are understanding you the way you want them to be you want them to understand you. If we go above 7, we're talking about visionary Steve Jobs kind of thing. And it's perfect if you can get there actually with proper coaching and proper help. But for you as a business, I would say it's very important that you refine the way you communicate and you make it more clear and more focused on the pain points of the people you're addressing. Because you're not talking to InsurTech. You're talking to insurance brokers who value their time because that's what you're doing. You're just buying them time or selling them time, literally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and also helping them lose less money or win more money. Yeah.
Time is literally money.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I would go down this narrative if I were you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was
that's
the end
really
of our episode.
thank you. That were good points, and I like a lot the honesty because I think that's how you improve.
No, my mission is not to make you feel good. My mission is to make you do what inspires you. So if
Yeah,
I have to be a bit of an asshole to get that, I will.
but you are not. You are not.
I try not to, but sometimes I may come out like that. Okay. But anyways, thank you, Omar, for tuning in with us today. And thank you guys for listening to this episode of Intentionally FinTech. Be sure to check out the other episodes to catch up with the other founders behind your favorite emerging and even existing FinTech brands. I've been Michael Phillips, your host, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Final words, Omar, that you want to say to the audience?
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about Zyplow. And also, if there is like an insurer that wants to streamline his claim management process and reduce fraud, we still have slot for like one pilot this quarter. So my GM are open and
You'll find, guys, Omar's contact into the description box if you're on YouTube, on the information box if you're in Apple Podcast, or anything equivalent on any other platform you're listening on. But that was it for today, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Have a good day, everyone.